What's up, guys? Welcome to Cook This. I am Tony. I'm going to be your cook for the day. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make picadillo, which is a Mexican dish that my mom used to make when I was a child. So I decided, you know what, why not share this with other people out there that might want to know how to make this dish. So why don't we start with the ingredients you're going to need to make this dish. You're going to need zucchini, carrots, tomato, onion, jalapeno, potato, garlic, a can of corn, and onion salt, olive oil, ground cumin, one of these little McCormick taco mixes. You could either use regular or spicy depending on your taste, and water. So why don't we start with the first step, which is going to be cooking the ground beef. Okay, so we're gonna want to use a little bit of olive oil. My mom used to make it with corn oil, but I like to use olive oil. I don't know if it's any healthier, but I just like the taste of it. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. All right, and let's go ahead and put our ground beef. I like to get the ground beef from Sprouts. I like the ground beef there. But anyway, let's go ahead and put the ground beef. All right. Keep a little towel handy just to clean my hands. Alright, so now, of course, just, break it apart, mix it up. Yeah, so my mom used to make this when I was a kid, and I always remembered this dish because every time she made it about, I want to say, every other week, and everybody in the house used to love it. The smell of the ground beef, and then the smell of, all the ingredients that go into it. Just blend very well, and gives a very good aroma. But anyways, yeah, I remember when my mom used to make this, she would always be, anytime, whenever she made any meal, any kind of dish, she would always be playing music in the background. And I always remember she would always play her favorite singer, which was Juan Gabriel. I don't know if anybody out there has heard of him. I'm sure you have. But yeah, that's one of the memories that comes to me when every time I make this meal here at home. And you know what? Everybody seems to love this. But anyways, while this is browning, while it's cooking, which is, let's see here, let's check the time. Okay. So I don't know how long this is going to take on this little stove. No, it's not a stove top. It's one of these little cooking thingies that I've just purchased. I usually use a stove, but since I'm filming here, I have to use this little, I don't know what you would call this, a burner. So anyways, while this is cooking, why don't we go ahead and start cutting our potato. So we want to cut the potato first because, as many of you know, if you know how to cook, the potato is the one that takes the longest to cook thoroughly once you put it in the water. And first we're gonna, of course, grill it a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. And you know what? I think I should have used a table that doesn't. Hopefully the table isn't shaking too much for the people watching. But anyways, we're gonna cut the potato into small cubes, right? And this is just to help it. I mean, you could cut it, I guess, any size, but the smaller the better, because it'll cook a lot faster. And I have my little plate here just to, as I'm cutting, I just I like to put my stuff aside so it doesn't get in the way, especially because I'm using a small cutting board. So yeah, so let's go ahead and cut these potatoes into small pieces. And I do want to mention that before the meat completely is done, cooking, we do want to add that little McCormick taco powder into the meat. And you know what's funny? I actually checked online, and the original recipe doesn't take the taco powder. You could actually put your own. You could actually make your own, like a mix of spices with, I think they use cayenne, salt, pepper, garlic salt, all these other things to make it. But my mom used to use the little taco powder, so that's what I do. So let's see here. Well, you know what? This little burner's not too bad. I'm surprised it's, you know, cooking the meat this fast. I thought it was gonna take a lot longer. So I think the meat is pretty much ready to put to add this powder here. And you know what? I think my mom used to use the spicy one, and I actually did use it when I started making this dish a while back when I first moved out. But I don't know, for some reason I just like the original a little better. I guess you could use the spicy one, but if your family doesn't like the spice, then you know you're gonna have a problem. But all right, so while this finishes cooking, let's go ahead and cut our carrots. And another thing, you don't have to use, there's no like measurement with the vegetables you use. It all just depends on the pot you use, you know, how big the pot is and how much you want to put. And also you could use more potato, you could use more carrots, you could use, you know, more zucchini, depending on you know what you like to, which veggie you like the most. And I like carrots, so I usually put a little bit more carrots than any of the other vegetables. And I'm sorry if this is, you know, it's a little shaky, but I'm not used to cutting. I'm using like almost like a, what do you call these, like picnic table thingies, that plasticky, and I think this knife isn't as sharp as I would like it to be. But it's working. So I like to cut the carrots and the potatoes at the same time, to cook them at the same time, because those are the two veggies that take the longest to cook. So I like to put those in the water first, you know, before once I grill them a little bit, I like to put them in the hot water so they can start cooking first. But that was another thing that I wanted to tell you guys, that you might want to have the water already boiled. So what I do, I usually boil the water before I even start cooking, you know, cooking the meat and the veggies. That way, once the water is boiled, you know, you just start putting all the ingredients in there, and you don't have to use a bunch of different pots to be cooking everything, you know. I think my mom used to use like 2 or 3 different pans to grill the veggies and stuff. But I mean, if you could do everything with one pan, and of course the little pot to put everything when it's done, you know, that way you save time after you're done eating, so you don't have to wash all those dishes. So yeah, so it's looking good. It's looking good. You know what this reminds me of? The smell of this reminds me also of when you make tacos, like Taco Bell tacos, you know, the hard shell tacos. But of course the homemade ones, not the ones from actual Taco Bell. So yeah, so I guess you could use this to make tacos if you don't want to make you know, if some people want tacos and some people want picadillo, you could actually make some tacos with half of the meat and maybe use the other half for the picadillo, for the dish. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish cutting these carrots. I'll probably speed up the video right at this point, so you guys don't get bored of me just you know, cutting vegetables. So we'll probably speed this up right about now and jump to where the veggies are going to go into the pot. But I did want to mention that once the meat is done cooking, I am going to put the meat into the water that I have in the pot that's already hot, since that's going to be the base ingredient that's going to like spread the flavor into the water, and then of course absorb it into the veggies. At least that's what I think happens, right? Like I said, I'm not a cook or anything, but I enjoy doing it. Alright guys, if you're still watching this, if I decided to keep this little piece in, I hope I'm not boring you with my just blabbering about my life. But is there anybody out there that, you know, knows how to make this dish? And is there something different you do maybe? If there is, you know, you can leave a comment, and you know, so other people can see what, you know, what maybe what is the difference between the way I make it and the way you make it. You know, if you have a different ingredient you add, or maybe something you don't add, maybe you don't put carrots in it, I don't know. Alright, so we are going to need a can of corn. And you know what? You could actually add this on to the hot water now if you want to, because we're not going to grill this. And I actually like to add the corn with the water that comes already in the can, that already has a little bit of salt in it, a little bit of flavor, to give the picadillo a little bit of that corn flavor that's in here. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this into the pot. Alright, so we're done with this. I actually opened it right before filming so you guys wouldn't have to see me use the can opener. And I think this is about done. It's crazy how many things there is that you can, you know, how many different meals there is that you could use ground beef for, right? There's another dish that I really enjoy making with ground beef is potato and ground beef tacos. And basically the same thing. You just boil some potatoes separately and kind of do like a mashed potato kind of thing, and then add some of this ground beef with the taco mix, with the taco powder. And then fry them, you know, fry them in a little bit of oil. Sour cream, a little queso cotija, for any queso cotija fans out there. Alright, so let's go ahead and put the meat now into our pot. Go ahead and put this. And it's done. Alright, and this will start giving that, you know, that flavor from all those spices. Putting them into the water will start absorbing all that flavor, so when the veggies go in, you know, just give it that little zest. Alright, so now let's go ahead and put a little bit more olive oil. Not too much, you know, you don't want your dish being all oily and greasy at the end of it all. So let's go ahead and cover that pot. Let that corn start kind of cooking a little bit too in that hot water with the meat. And let's go ahead and cook our potatoes and our carrots. And like I said, you guys don't have to cook this very thoroughly. It's more just to give it a little more solid feeling, you know, a little toastiness on the outside of the veggies. So once you put them in the water, you know, the potatoes don't, especially the potatoes, they don't just fall apart. And then you're left with like mushy soup. Alright, so while these are cooking, let's go ahead and we're going to put some onion salt, okay? I like onion salt. You know, this dish, the picadillo, it's a lot, almost like a beef stew, I want to say. And I think a lot of people compare it to that. Fun fact that this dish, you know, I am Mexican, and it's a Mexican dish. You know, that's where it came from, where they make it. Traditional dish from Mexico. What's funny is that I found out online that this dish is not only popular, or you know, popular in Mexico. It's actually very popular in the Philippines, which was a big surprise for me. Alright, and you know what, if it's a little dry, you might want to add a little bit more olive oil, because these, you know, especially the potato, it absorbs a lot of the oil. So while that's cooking, let's go ahead and start cutting our zucchini. Alright. And these I like to cut just in, you know, like halves. And then, you know, you could actually cut them, I think, in like the whole round part, but I don't know, it it fits easier on the spoon when you're eating it if they're cut into halves. And please excuse my knife skills, since, you know, like I said, I'm not really a professional cook, so I just learned on my own. I wish, you know what, thinking back now, I wish I would have paid more attention when my mom was cooking these dishes. I wish I would have actually, you know, got involved more and, you know, cooked with her, so I would have had a maybe better skills with cutting the vegetables and all that stuff. But it is what it is. All right. So let's go ahead and mix this up a little bit. Make sure all the veggies get, you know, that little toastiness around them. I'm really enjoying these pans. I bought these pans at Walmart. I forgot what they're called. It's some popular, like a lady that cooks on cable. I forgot her name, the country woman or something. But I'm really liking the whole feel of them. Alright, so let's go ahead and start also cutting our tomato and our onion and our jalapeno. And you know what, you guys don't have to add the jalapeno if you don't want to, because I know a lot of people don't like the food spicy, or if you want just a little bit of spice, add just a little bit of jalapeno. Alright. Yeah, you know what, I actually remember when I was growing up, there was a time when, you know, my mom was just like, you know what, I'm done. If you guys want a dish, make it yourself. And I do remember I want to say I started cooking maybe at like 12 or 13. And once I started, it was like, you know what, it's pretty fun to make your own meals. And if you enjoy cooking, you know what, try to get your kids involved. You know, you never know, maybe they'll want to join you. I know my kids, they actually like cooking. My 10-year-old especially. Alright, so I think these potatoes and carrots are about done. You know, getting their little glaze. So let's go ahead and put those into the pot with the meat and the corn. I wish I had more space here to do all this, but I'll work with what I have. Alright. So that's in. So now let's go ahead and put our zucchini in there. And a little bit more olive oil. And you know what, when I put the zucchini in, I like to put the garlic at this point. Don't ask me why, it's just a thing I do. So what I did, I minced some garlic cloves, and just, you could also use garlic powder if you want, if you don't want to, like, you know, cut up garlic, or if you don't have fresh garlic, just go ahead and actually the garlic I'm using is garlic that I bought at Costco that comes in a bag. And it already comes all peeled and everything, and you keep it in the freezer, so you know, you'll have garlic year round. Alright, so let's go ahead and add the zucchini. And again, let's add a little bit of onion salt. I got this onion salt at Trader Joe's. Real good. Alright, so once we do that, now we just let this glaze again like the rest of the veggies. And I think I'm going to have to add a little bit more olive oil because it is drying up pretty quick. Maybe because it's a new pan, I don't know. And they say olive oil is supposed to be healthy, right? Who knows? Who knows? Alright, so let's go ahead and add our onions and tomato to this too. You know, now that all the rest of the stuff is done, we'll go ahead and add everything together. You know, this will also help the zucchini cook a lot faster because of the moisture of the tomato. So at this point, we're going to do the spicy part, which is the jalapeno. And you know what? I think I'm only gonna add half a jalapeno because I think last time the jalapeno came out really spicy and the kids were not very happy with that. So let's just add half a jalapeno just to give it a little bit of kick. Let's go ahead and put that in now. You know, I just purchased this spatula from Faberware, I think it is. That's how you pronounce it, at Walmart, and I'm really loving this little handle they put here. At first, when I purchased it, I was like, "What's this for?" And I put it in a pan, and it just flips over, and I was like, "What the?" But once you start using, you notice that it's a little like a thing, so you can put your fingers, and it gives you better balance when you're flipping either pancakes or whatever you're cooking. In this case, of course, for the veggies. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. I think we're pretty much almost done. Once we're done with cooking this zucchini a little bit more, we're gonna go ahead and add it into the pot with the rest of the vegetables and the meat and the corn, and we're gonna actually put that back on the burner to boil it a little bit, so make sure everything's, you know, thoroughly cooked. So let's go ahead and forward this to the point where we're gonna put this into the pot. All right, so usually when I'm almost done cooking, I have a thing, you know, because I'm a little bit picky. You know what, before I forget, I almost forgot that we have to add our ground cumin to the to the food. You know, I got so distracted talking. So let's go ahead and just add a little bit. You don't need to put a lot of this, depending on you. If you don't even have to put this if you don't like it, but depending on, you know, how much you want, go ahead and add as much as you want. I usually add about just a pinch of it because the flavor is very strong. But my mom used to use the actual cumin, you know, the one that comes in they look like little seeds. But I like the powder because when I used to eat it with the little seeds, it would get stuck in your teeth and stuff. So I just like it this way better. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and put our pot here now onto the burner to start boiling the water and stuff. So let's go ahead and remove this, and we're gonna go ahead and bring over here we go. Got a matching thing with the pan and everything. Walmart. This show is not sponsored by Walmart. I wish it was. All right, so let's go ahead and add our zucchini and you know, the onion and tomato to the rest of the veggies and the meat. All right, give it a little bit of a mix here. And you know what? I forgot to bring my other spoon, my serving, you know, the bigger, like a serving spoon, because once I want to put this in a bowl, it's going to be difficult using a spatula. I knew I forgot something. All right, guys, so this pretty much is, you know, is the whole recipe, how you make this dish. So let me go run into the house, and I'm going to get the serving spoon, and, you know, we'll come back once everything, you know, the food is ready. I'll see you guys in a few. Alright guys, so I'm back. I actually went to get my serving spoon. The food is ready now. It took about a little under an hour, and I was gonna mention that when I make this on the stovetop, it actually takes about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So it takes a little bit longer on an electric burner, but it did the job, so I'm happy about that. So let's go ahead and serve a bowl here so you guys could see a little close-up of what it looks like once it's, you know, once it's done. And I like to get a lot of the little that broth, the soup that you know. Oh, it's a little bit hot, so let me go ahead and put it down. And You could eat this with tortillas if you'd like, but I like to eat it just like that. And it's delicious. Alright guys, well that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, this is not a very difficult dish to make. Anybody can make it. It doesn't take very long to make either. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and press the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.